All right. Hello, everybody. This is the Barbara Talks Business Podcast, and I am Barbara Carr, your host. Today, I am with Rich Blakeman, and he is with the company ScaleX. And we are going to be talking today about the implications of artificial intelligence for sales. So if that sounds like a mouthful for you, you definitely want to listen up because Rich is going to give you some tips on how you can use AI, which is artificial intelligence, to grow your business. So pay close attention to this. But before we jump in, let's go ahead and talk about some of the regular stuff each week. Podcast stats update. I like to keep you guys informed with how the podcast is going because we're still very new, only in season 2. And in the last 30 days, we have had 21 downloads. So thank you to all of our followers and all of our supporters. We truly do appreciate those of you who view us online, listen to us on your mobile device, and especially those of you who participate during the show. So that reminds me to tell you that if you are watching live, we are both on YouTube and on Facebook right now, and you are able to comment and share comments, questions, concerns, anything that you have that's on your mind about this topic right now. Feel free to put a comment underneath the video and I will respond to you, and Rich can answer questions while we're here live. So don't be shy. Couple of quick things that I want to give shameless plugs about. The first thing is last week we had Tim Faley on the show. He talked about his Mother's Day 5K run called Run Like a Mother. The shirt that I'm wearing, this Marvelous Mom shirt, I received from being an attendee at that run. Now, I have to admit that I chickened out and did not do the run because it was raining and 35 degrees. But I still showed up. I did show up and I cheered on the brave souls that did run, which I was surprised with so many people, you guys. It was amazing how many people not only came out, but still went and did the race. So kudos to every single one of you who was braver than me. I even dressed in layers and I chickened out when I got there. But I still wanted to say it was an awesome event. You guys should really check out Hometown Happenings event page for the next coming races. Another quick shameless plug, Rich and I met through a networking online company called Lunch Club. It is a newer type of networking group, and it is one of those invite-only kinds of groups. So if you want an invitation to be part of Lunch Club, you can message myself or Rich, and we can get you an invitation to be part of the club. But Rich and I, when we first met, Rich, we talked about how we had been gaining such valuable relationships through this network. People that, like, we both agreed that we hadn't had a meeting yet that wasn't worthwhile through that company, right? And
Absolutely.
I still haven't to this day. And I know you and I have met months ago. But so basically the way Lunch Club works, for those of you who aren't on there, is it matches you up with other business owners or business professionals that could be of service to you, or that you could be of service to, or that maybe you just would be a great connection to talk to each other or help each other. It's kind of like a dating app, but for businesses, which is really cool because it matches you up based on what your needs are and what your interests are. And so that's how Rich and I met, because I was looking into stuff like AI and marketing, and like some of those things were checked on my list. And Rich probably had stuff that I have, like training and coaching and stuff, checked on his list of people he wanted to meet. So he and I were matched up. We had a great conversation, a couple since then. And I said, Rich, I got to have you on my podcast. Like, you're phenomenal, and what you have to offer could help my people. I need you on my podcast. And as you can see, Rich agreed. So this is season 2, episode 15. Season 2 will be wrapping up. We have about 4 weeks left of season 2, and then we're going to take a break for summer and come back when the school year starts. So you guys have a few more episodes, so stay tuned. And then the last announcement before we jump into the good stuff is that you can still win $50 cash through the Barbara Talks Business Show. If you want money, now's a good time to listen as well. about midway through the show, we do a fun segment that right now I don't have a name for, and that's how you could win $50 cash. I need somebody to help me name my this or that segment. And I don't want it to be called this or that because that's boring, and Barbara's not boring. So if you can help me come up with a good name for my segment, and I'll remind you when that segment comes so that you'll be paying attention. You'll get $50 cash if I choose your name. There have been entries already put in, but those have not yet been chosen. They're not completely off the table. I just didn't love any of them yet. So feel free to keep your eyes and ears open to see what might be a good name for that segment when we get there. All right. So Rich, you have such an amazing profile and credentials. So I'm going to just share with my audience a little bit about you, and then I'm going to ask you loads of questions that you can educate us with.
Fire it up.
All right. So Rich Blakeman, as you can see on my screen, him and his company, they leverage AI and sales automation to automate up to 75% of a sales rep's tasks so that they can focus on higher value work. Now, those of you who know me know that I love automation. One of the main reasons I wanted Rich on here, because what his company has to offer really is invaluable, especially if you're looking for more business, more prospects, more business. This technology can help you get there faster. So I can't wait to share it with you. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about Rich. He is a lifelong servant leader. He began his professional life as a United Methodist pastor in Central Illinois, and then followed a different calling to a 19-year career in sales and marketing at IBM. Yeah, you heard that right, IBM, where he held leadership roles with teams from 2 to 200. Subsequently, Rich has led sales and marketing at multiple technology and services firms from $15 million to $8 billion, and had the pleasure to spend 10 years as an executive at the world's largest sales training and consultancy, Miller Heiman. Rich is currently the Chief Revenue Officer and Head of Strategy at ScaleX, which is an AI software and services firm servicing the sales function for companies from startups through publicly traded firms. So if that alone didn't tell you how brilliant Rich is, then let me just tell you a little bit more. As you see on my screen about him leveraging these different things in order to automate your business and your sales, one of the things that he definitely focuses on is allowing you to do the higher value work. So whatever your business is, let's say you're a real estate agent. If you use the software that we'll be talking about today, you will be able to do more of what sales agents get paid for, right? The real estate agents show the houses, make the contracts. You don't have to go do so many cold leads and phone calls and emailing people and just waiting for people to come to you. This stuff happens pretty much automatically through this cool system that Rich showed me. And he actually showed me his system by sharing his screen and walking me through some stuff. I don't know if we'll have time to do that today, so you might have to reach out to him for that extra. But if we do have time, we'll jump into it if Rich is cool with that. But for right now, Rich, before I start firing away a bunch of questions, I want to just give you a moment, because here I have been talking for like 10 minutes and haven't even given you a chance to say hello. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you have. I just haven't wanted to interrupt your flow because it's your show. So don't worry about that. The only thing I can tell you about all of this genius that you impart to me is that the only genius I have is that I happen to choose a blue shirt on a date that you're wearing a blue sweatshirt. So that's about the extent of my genius today. What I'm passionate about is looking at sales teams and finding out who does what best. and based on what they do best, take the rest of their work. Some of it they may not like to do. Some of it, because they don't like to do it, they don't do it well. But the bottom line at the end of the day, it doesn't get done with the same quality as the stuff that they do best, which generally for people who are in sales, doesn't matter if it's selling on the phone or if it's selling in person, is building relationships,
Right.
is working to discover more and deeper about their clients' businesses or their clients' personal situations, is working to discover what is it that is going to make the client successful and then help them close the deal. That's where the value is that the person brings to the equation. And take all of the rest of the stuff that still generates meetings and generates value in the sales equation, but is expensive to do if you have somebody who's really good at the other things, asking them to do all of that work. And so that's the equation. The equation is getting that kind of balance in a sales territory and make sure you get the highest production out of all ways to reach prospective clients, to get prospective clients to respond to your message, to get prospective clients to talk to you, and then apply the right ointment to the right wound.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
So, I mean, that's what gets me up every morning.
I love that. All right, Rich, I have a whole lot of questions here for you. And if people start asking questions in the chat, then we'll have even more. So the first thing I'd like to start with is kind of a two-part question. The first question is, what is AI for sales? But I think before you describe what is AI for sales, you should probably describe what is AI, just in case somebody doesn't know.
So everybody has this image that artificial intelligence is somehow whatever is going on inside a box is going to be a replacement for human behavior. Whether it's a robot, and you think about back to when people were worried about jobs on automotive lines in factories were going to be taken by robots. And that all of that was driven by the intelligence inside the machine, inside the box. And AI is simply a way to take knowledge, take data, and perform actions on a precise and repetitive scale. And when you apply it to something that's human, the best thing that AI can do is not replace the human, but it's augment the human. So what can that software do? Because AI, in the end of the day, is mostly, as we would know it, software. Right. What can that software do to augment human behavior, to make human beings more effective, more efficient? And when you take and apply that to a sales function or a marketing function, it's that separation of what do humans do best, what can automation do best, and make sure that, and even the artificial intelligence requires a tremendous amount of human preparation.
Right.
Because it still has to be prepared with, well, who are we aiming it at and why? And what messaging are we using and why? And how do we make it act and sound and feel like the person that would be doing it if a human being was saying or doing the things that the software is doing, so that you don't get, for example, you and I get every day a LinkedIn connection request.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Yep.
LinkedIn connection request oftentimes reads like it was created by some kind of automation.
Right.
and and it's impersonal and is a sales pitch inside of a connection request.
Yeah.
Barbara, want to connect to you. I don't know anything about you. I don't care anything about you. Here's what I'm selling. Please connect to me.
Yep.
And every one of those, we just dismiss them because it's not at all human. Well,
yeah.
You can do the same thing with software, but how do you make that human so that someone believes that someone cares something about you and wants to make a connection request to you in LinkedIn and have it be a two-way relationship where there's something in it for you and something in it for them that seems reasonable, that says, sure, that looks like an interesting person. I think I should connect to them.
Yeah.
But so there's still a lot of work to be done to create good artificial intelligence. But at the end of the day, you want to have that running like a train track over your shoulder where it just keeps running every day so that you can go on to do what you do that no one else can do. And we can't make an electronic Barbara. Thank goodness.
Not yet.
Thank goodness. I'm sure your husband says the same thing.
Right. Okay, so now that we understand what AI is and what AI is for sales, what are some of the key benefits for AI for sales? And I know that you just started touching on that just at the end there, but what else could be some good benefits for using AI technology for sales?
One of the things is making sure. So there's a role in a lot of companies for people who do nothing but try and get appointments set. And either they're trying to get appointments set for themselves for later. They want to get somebody on the phone for, 15 to 30, 45 seconds, get their attention so that they can get an appointment for themselves for later, or they're trying to get an appointment for somebody else, their boss, another account exec, somebody else.
Right.
And those appointments can get set by somebody on the telephone. They can get set by a creative email campaign. They can get set by a creative LinkedIn campaign. They can get set by using videos embedded in emails, lots of different ways to get those appointments set. The key benefit of an AI approach is take all of those things that can be automated and can create a high yield and make sure that they keep on happening every day, even if the person's on vacation, number one. Number two, irrespective of how good the person is at their job of then executing on that meeting once it happens, we're going to get the highest possible yield of new meetings with new customers because we use the right mix of different kinds of approaches to approach new customers. And different ways have different mixes depending on what the industry is, what your product is, or your solution is. So the biggest benefit on the front end is making sure it happens every day, making sure you can get a consistent volume, and every person doesn't have a different, excuse for why they didn't get it done today. And then get a mix of ways to approach things so that you get the highest possible output towards especially attracting new clients or opening new doors at new large clients. So that probably crosses 85% of the benefits.
Nice. And so probably a lot of people are thinking that this is going to be hard to set up if they wanted to do it. So how hard is it to deploy?
Generally, when a client does business with us, they have it deployed through about a 45-minute kickoff meeting with our client success director. And then they go away and they do a little bit of work on messaging to make sure it matches up with their value proposition, make sure it matches up with their language and kind of how they speak in the industry, how they speak as individuals, as people. And if they're not live in 3 or 4 days, it's because they're kind of hung up inside themselves, not able to get their work done and agreed on. Generally, we have most of our clients live in 3 or 4 days.
That's a pretty quick, very quick to get that set up, especially with AI tech. I know AI technology is impressive, but like you said, it does take some startup work, right? Like who are you targeting and why and how and all that. So that's fantastic that it's that quick. Okay, so
it's not difficult, and the industry gets better and better at that every day.
Okay, great. So I see that we do have a chat here. I don't know if you see the chats as well. So this is Amber. She says it took her a minute to find the video because it wasn't on my Facebook, which is my bad. I usually post it live on Facebook too. So I did just go and post it live on Facebook just a moment ago. So we should get some more viewers here soon. But Amber says hello to us. So hello, Amber. Thank you for letting us know that it was not live. Hopefully now that it does show up live.
Great.
Let's see. The next question then is, what is the potential impact that AI technology for sales could have on a company?
We work, and most AI for sales companies work on the top of the funnel, the top of the sales funnel. So it's primarily humans that need to work on the bottom of the funnel and work on closing business. You're not going to turn that over to automation. Unless you're in the pure B2C business, you're selling everything online, you're selling retail, whatever. In a B2B business, the biggest impact is the math between how many meetings equals how many opportunities that get created, and how many opportunities equals how many opportunities get closed, and what's your average deal size. So how much revenue does that mean to your company? And what can an AI platform do to drive up the number of meetings as the entry point, the number of conversations leading to the number of meetings, leading to the number of opportunities. And generally, your opportunity yield and your close rate will improve, as well as improving the number of meetings, because you'll have your sales team solely focused on their best part of the sales process, which is in the bottom of the funnel, and not focus so hard on the top of the funnel. So I mean, it gets down to revenue at the end of the day, but it's how you get to the revenue and how you deploy your resources to get to the revenue.
Okay. And I like there was somewhere when I was looking through your stuff, I saw AI driven solutions and services to drive more meetings. And then I saw more pipeline and then more results, right? So
Right.
just like you were just saying, it starts with getting the more meetings, and from those meetings that are coming in automatically, then it's up to the salespeople when it gets down to a certain level to close those sales, right?
Right.
And so they have a greater opportunity because the number has increased not only by quantity but also by quality, because you're targeting these specific people. So they are your target who you are reaching.
Correct.
That is awesome. All right, so let's move on to another segment of the show, which I like to call Brag Time, which stands for Barbara's Random Acknowledgement of Greatness. And today I would like to give a special thank you to Christy Ray, who is a phenomenal graphic designer. She's actually assisting me in recreating some Fuse branding stuff. So the Fuse brand is having a little bit of a facelift. It's not going to change too much that it won't be recognizable, but it's just having a little new modern day look to it. And so keep an eye out for that, because that will be rolling out in June. And so I just want to thank Christy, because she has been phenomenal in helping me and really bringing my vision to life. And I realize right now that I accidentally spelled her first name wrong. So I just want to put it up there the correct way real fast before ending that segment, because I had an E at the end and there's not an E at the end of her name. So Christy, you are awesome in everything that you do. And in fact, anybody who's watching this right now, if you know Christy and you need design work done, you better call her soon, because my next meeting with her, I'm telling her she needs to raise her rates. So if you don't call her soon, you will be paying more, but she's worth every penny. In fact, I tip her every single time, because I don't think she's charging me enough. And I'll probably still tip her even when she charges what she's worth, but she is phenomenal. So reach out to Christy Ray if you know her. And if you need design work done and you don't know Christy, let me know and I will connect you. Okay, now it is time for those of you who like money to earn money. $50 cash. Rich and I are going to do a fun segment here. Rich, how it works is I'm going to give you two names, right? Like just two words. And then you are going to go where you will with that. Choose one of the options and then give us a story or whatever, wherever your heart takes you. For those of you who might be watching live or even in the replay, feel free to comment your response in the chat. And if you have a name for this segment that we can start calling it, just like I had a name for Brag Time, right? Barbara's Random Acknowledgement of Greatness. If you have a fun name for this segment, put it in the comment of the video on YouTube. That's the only place that I'm looking for the entries, because we're posting this on all the social media channels. And my time is valuable, so I'm looking in one place. If you want to put an entry in, it needs to be on the YouTube video. All right, Rich. So I've got an easy one here to start with. Coffee or tea?
I may be, along with my wife, we may be the only two people on the planet who between us has never had more than an ounce and a half of coffee, period.
Wow.
Ever.
Okay, that's crazy.
We don't like the taste. We don't like the smell. And yet we have two adult children who are coffeeholics. and to the degree they are coffee snobs. They are travelers. They've traveled the world, and they bring back home some of the world's finest coffee that they find in little towns and little places, and they bring back home the beans with them. My wife and I have a Keurig. That is the degree of our coffee snobbery, and the kids don't even drink from it when they're home.
Oh, that's neat. I wonder, do any of your kids have a coffee blog that they talk about all these coffees on, or no?
Nope, nope.
That would be
Don't,
cool.
they don't have time. My my son will make a random Facebook comment about some coffee or another that he's just discovered, but um, he's an entrepreneur and she's a corporate girl, and uh, they're just busy people. So, but
Yeah,
in any case, yeah, we're not coffee people,
that is
and we
very
somehow
interesting.
have survived.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't think I could.
It's
Uh,
because
and,
you have coffee in your blood, and I don't.
yeah, coffee in one hand, water in the other, because I get dehydrated from all the coffee that I drink.
And you had coffee, and you still couldn't run the 10K.
I'm telling you, 5K, but yeah, I couldn't even run
Oh,
it for the 1K.
you couldn't run a 5K in the rain.
I could not.
This thing is going downhill fast, Barbara.
I know, it's so awful. And yeah, well, Rich, let me just make it go even further downhill. They gave us the option to just do half of it if we wanted to, and I said nope.
All right, so I'll give you one for free. Run or walk.
For me,
And
it's walk.
okay, so for me, I quit running when I was 30.
Okay.
That was 36 years ago. Except my best friend died when I was 34. I'm sorry, 64. Just after our 40th high school reunion, my best friend died.
Hmm.
And he died of brain cancer. And I decided I had to do something big for my best friend.
Aw.
And I know his brother lives in Denver. He lives still in Chicago, where I grew up, went to high school. His brother lives in Denver. I went to see his brother. We had a cocktail together. I do drink cocktails, even though I don't drink coffee. um, and I decided that I was going to raise a lot of money for the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Clinic in New York.
Okay.
Since he died of brain cancer. They're also one of the prime sponsors of the New York Marathon. And so I decided the way I'd do it is that I would commit myself to running the New York Marathon, even though I've never run in 30 years.
Oh my goodness.
And I would do it for my 60th birthday.
Wow.
Because it was the year of my 60th birthday. And so I put together a plan and trained for 6 months and raised $20,000 and ran the New York Marathon. Now, I have to tell you, Barbara, on that day, it started out at 25 degrees.
Oh my goodness.
With a 20-mile-an-hour headwind. Oof. For 2/3 of the run.
Ooh, no, thank you.
For 2/3 of a 26-mile run into a 20-mile-an-hour wind at 25 degrees. Can't believe I did it, but my life would not be complete if I hadn't done it.
Wow.
So, I can't run a 5K because it's raining and it's 35. I'm sorry. You're going to have to do something to make up for that.
Okay, Rich, you are a lot stronger than I am, okay?
It doesn't, it's Barbara.
Hey, you're a lot stronger here too, Rich.
This is all it takes. This is all it takes.
Okay,
it's all about mindset. So next time you have a mindset opportunity to say, am I going to overcome something or am I not? Just change your mindset. That's all.
Okay. I'm going to work on that, Rich.
All right, your turn. Back to your words.
All right. Sales or customer service?
A person that I think a tremendous amount of in the sales field that lives in Australia, Cian McLaughlin. One of the things Cian is famous for saying is, Sell like you've already won, which means treat a prospective customer the same way that you will be treating them once they are your customer.
Oh, that's good.
So take a customer service approach to sales.
Nice.
Don't take a sales approach to sales, but take a customer service approach to sales as if they were already your customer. Now, that doesn't mean to give them a bad customer service approach, right? Give them white glove service as if they were already your customer before you've closed them, and you improve your chance of winning.
That's phenomenal. I like that. Thank you for sharing that. All right. The third and final question in this segment is podcasts or blogs?
I am so tired of Zoom because you and I and everyone else watching has lived over a year of meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting.
Yes.
In Zoom world. No space on our calendar in between meetings. No
Right.
time to rest our eyes. It's exhausting. I like audio podcasts, but I need a reason to have extra video. Extra video is just more video in my day, and I just did. Blogs have to be really compelling for them to be meaningful, because that just means they've got to keep my attention for me to read them. I can put on audio and it's going to be in my head. So my answer is just audio podcasts.
All right. Good. I like it. All righty. So if anybody has a question that you'd like to ask Rich before we go, now's the time. And while you're typing your questions, I'm going to have Rich give his contact information because I know we have a few things here. Well, first you're on LinkedIn. So I'll put up here on the screen, they can connect with you on LinkedIn. Is there anything you'd like to add regarding that, Rich?
I'm easy to find and I'm friendly to connect to, and I respond to everything that comes to me.
Awesome. And then Rich has his email address here too. Is it okay to share that, Rich?
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right. So that will be Rich at ScaleX.ai. So if you are interested in reaching out to Rich further, asking questions, having a one-on-one with him, being able to see his software in action, you can either email him or find him on LinkedIn and connect with him there. And again, if you want information about Lunch Club, you can reach out to either one of us. And then I have here, Rich, when I asked on your application for the podcast, if you have a practical next move action step for our listeners, you responded with satisfy any remaining curiosity by looking inwards into your own business. Would you like to expand upon that?
All of us are in the process of solving other people's problems or proposing ways to solve other people's problems. We spend either assume someone else is going to do it, but we spend too little time looking at our own business to make sure that our own ship is in, and what can we do to improve our own business that, oh, by the way, might make it more effective at solving someone else's challenge. So that.
All right. And then when I asked for a free offer for Fuse fans, your response was that you have a series of videos available on different approaches to using AI to improve sales results. So is that series of videos something that somebody would get access to by reaching out to you, or is that on your website or on YouTube, or where do we find that?
There are some on YouTube, there are some on our website, and there are some that if someone's got a specific thing they're trying to, a specific problem they're trying to solve, that I can send them individually.
Okay, and your website is at scalex.ai.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. And what is the YouTube channel they should look under?
That's a really good question. It's probably ScaleX.ai. I honestly don't know off the top of my head.
All right. All right, that's okay. So we will do a little bit of research in that and find it. But otherwise, you guys have some contact information to reach out to Rich. Let me make sure there's no questions in the chat. There are not. Rich, before we say goodbye, is there anything we did not discuss that you would like to cover?
What we did not discuss is what a phenomenal business that you're running, Barbara, and all of the things that you're doing to broaden and strengthen the different things that you do in the world, and what a spectacular business person you are, and how much I appreciate you.
Aw, thank you so much. I appreciate that as well. I've really enjoyed having you on here, and I so look forward to staying connected to you for the years and decades to come.
Thank you for having me on your show.
You're welcome. Now, I want to give one last reminder to the viewers that Barbara Talks Business is every Tuesday at 2 p.m. You can find me live on YouTube every week, and often we are also on Facebook. And then during the summer, we will take a break so that everyone can enjoy time with their families. But we have all the way until June 1st, we are scheduled out to podcast for this season. And then we will return in either late August or early September. If you have questions in the meantime, just reach out to Barbara at fuseempire.com, or you can call our business line at 877-387. Wait, that's not right. I don't remember the phone number offhand. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. That was embarrassing. Here, let me come back to the video real fast. Okay. If you want to reach out to us by phone, it's 877-771-3873. Do you see why that was so hard to remember? There's so many sevens and threes in that. All right, Rich, have a great, great week. And everybody else, I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.